Hello there, my name is Jason Schmaltz, and today we're in Allenbrook and we're going to do some multi-pitch changeover tutorials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the process for doing two different cases of multi-pitch changeovers, and then I'll show you the whole thing in sequence without commenting and show you how much time it takes, and you can see if you can beat my time. One thing that's important in doing multi-pitch changeover successfully is having a good setup. So you can see I've got a really good anchor setup with 4 pieces of trad gear to a single master point. And one thing you want to think of before you even start belaying your partner up is where they're going to go or where you're going to go after they get up to you. So I'm going to show you 2 cases. The first one is that we're going to do the traditional lead swap. So I've led up the first pitch, and now my partner is going to lead the second pitch, and he's going to go that way. Okay, so the way I'll want to arrange my clove and then the gree-gree and then him is I want to have my clove on the side that he will not climb, and then the gree-gree in the middle, and then my partner will come up and be on the side closest to where he'll lead the second pitch. The second thing I want to make sure is that I have the gree-gree and my clove to the right tightness and to the right height that I want to ergonomically bring them up. What you'll find in multi-pitch is it's just as much of an ergonomics exercise as it is the climbing exercise. So I want to have everything kind of in a good working range if possible. And you can see this is pretty good. And then I want to have the gree-gree arranged so that as I pull in slack, the slack goes to the pile and it's not twisted up like this, and I'm trying to pull in slack and the rope's all twisted and I have to rearrange it to make a nice pile. So the second piece to a successful multi-pitch changeover is what you're doing while you're belaying. So while I'm belaying my partner up, I can be taking pieces of gear that they'll need off my belt while they're climbing so that they're all ready for them when they arrive. And that way we don't have to spend a bunch of time at the anchor station exchanging gear. They can just grab what they need and continue to go. It's key for successful multi-pitch days out to minimize the amount of idle time at an anchor station, and you want to maximize the amount of time that somebody is climbing. Okay, so anything you can do, whether it's taking gear off, looking at a guidebook, getting a sip of water or a snack or whatever while your partner is climbing, that's a good use of your time versus just kind of shooting the breeze. Although it's good to do that too. So as my partner approaches, so Devin, come on up. There's all kinds of different ways to do this changeover as your partner approaches, but I'm gonna show you kind of the quickest way for swapping leads. And that's that I don't even want to clove Devin in. I will just use his gree-gree as his clove. So I'll do an overhand on the gree-gree. So now he's locked in. And he's already has a couple trad pieces on his belt, and he can grab these ones. So Devin, you can come on around and grab those pieces. And while he's doing that, I'll take his gree-gree off his waist, put it on my belay loop, grab the back side of the gree-gree I was belaying him with, go ahead and put him in, lock down. I already have him on belay now, so we can get ready for him to take off. I can pick my best piece of gear that I want or multiple pieces of gear. Go ahead and put him on his first piece so that the belay is redirected. And then if he's ready to start climbing, you ready to start climbing?
Yep.
Go ahead and take my gree-gree that I belayed him off. Again, he's on belay now. And what he'll do is he'll take my gree-gree with him so that he can belay me as a follower on the next pitch. Remember to untie this knot. We won't get very far. And now he's ready to start climbing, okay? So that's the easiest way to do lead swapping. So now let's look at what it looks like to do block leading. Okay, so the second scenario in multi-pitch changeover is block leading, and this is when you're going to have the same leader for multiple pitches in a row. And you can run into this scenario when you're either guiding or you only have one person in the team that knows how to place trad or lead trad. So it's actually quite common. So we'll go ahead and have Devin come up again. And this time I've rearranged the carabiners so that my clove is on top, because I'm going to lead the next pitch to the left in this case. And Devin will come up. Now you don't have to do this. I go ahead and do it if I'm going to help my follower. I'll go ahead and lock them off, and then I'll go ahead and clove them in. So on this one, you actually have to clove the person in. There may be a way to do it without cloving them in. I'm not sure, but it's the way I do it. Okay, so they're cloved in now. So I'll take my gree off and take this knot out. You can, if they need help, you can adjust the length of their clove. Obviously, depending on the size of the ledge, you can take more or less precaution in that. We're on a gigantic ledge, so not too concerned. And now we have to do gear swap. And the way to do an efficient gear swap is Devin will take gear from the side that I can't reach and put it on his tether. And I'll take gear from the side that I can reach and put the gear onto my belt. So we're working together to get the gear exchanged in half the time. Now if Devin or I happen to finish early, if there's some alpine draws that need to be rebuilt, either whoever finished early can help rebuild those alpine draws, or look at the guidebook or whatever needs to be done, so that they're not just sitting idle if there's a task to be done. So at this point, I'm ready to get set up for belay. So go ahead and put me on belay on the back side of my clove, just like normal in the gym. And while Devin's setting me up to belay, one thing that needs to be done is the rope needs to be flipped. So you can either do a pancake method if you have a nice pile and just flip the rope over. Basically the goal being that the rope is coming out to me as the climber on the top of the pile. So we'll go ahead and just flip this pile. If the rope is really tangled, or maybe you did a lap coil or something like that, I'd recommend just reflaking. You don't want to get halfway into the climb and now he's got a big mess to deal with, and he has to belay me on multi-pitch. The last thing before I take off is I take the backside of my clove that's going to Devin's gree, and I put that into an alpine draw again, so he doesn't get turned around if I fall as I come off, or if I were to fall early on. Okay, belay on.
On belay.
Okay, climbing. Okay, so those are the two procedures on how to do a multi-pitch changeover. So now I'll show you in real time how I do a swapping leads changeover. All right, Devin, here we go. Belay on. Okay, I hope you guys found that information useful for doing multi-pitch changeover. Of course, there's many different ways to skin a cat in these types of procedures, so if you have anything to add, or if you found anything wrong with the way I did it, feel free to leave it in the comments, and look forward to seeing you out on the crag. Catch you later.